Okay, here we go. So there will be several ways to factor. I listed them all out for you at the beginning of this lesson. I said you're going to be learning how to do this many different ways, and at the end we'll culminate and do a big, not really big, just a section on choosing a factoring method, okay? The approach we will take depends on the polynomial. Today we'll start by using the greatest common factor, or GCF, of the polynomial. So basically you want to figure out what do the things have in common, okay? So ask yourself this question: what, you can write this down please, do the terms have in common? And when you figure that out, we're going to take that out and divide everything by that thing they have in common. That's what we're doing. We're factoring. We're not subtracting. We're dividing out what they have in common. Okay? So we're going to do the odds. All right? And hopefully you'll see this is pretty easy stuff. Okay? So number one, 3x plus 12. These are two terms. I can divide something out of both of them. Okay? And what that thing is 3. I can divide this by 3, and I can divide this by 3. So let's do that. Let's divide everything by 3. And when you divide it out, you put parentheses, what's left. So 3x divided by 3 is x. Okay? And 12 divided by 3 is 4. See, what you're left with is something that they don't have anything in common. Or the only thing they have in common is 1. That's how you know you're done factoring. They have nothing left in common. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. 5x and 30y. What can I divide out of both of those? Hopefully you thought 5. If you thought 5, you're correct. Okay, so I can only divide 5. I can't divide x because this doesn't have x. I can't divide y because this doesn't have y. I can only divide by 5. So 5 is the only thing that can come out. 5x divided by 5 is x. 30y divided by 5, so 30 divided by 5 is 6, and that y is still there. Notice how, again, these two have nothing in common. Absolutely nothing. Okay? Let's try this one. 6a squared plus 27. What can I take out of both of these? Hopefully you thought 3, because 3 would be right. Okay, 6a squared divided by 3 is 2a squared, okay, plus 27 divided by 3 is 9. Again, nothing in common. If you see you can factor something out of both of these, then you didn't find the GCF. Okay, then you keep factoring as you go. All right, so number 7. 21CD minus 3D. What can I take out of both? Well, they both have a D, so hopefully you thought D. And 21 and 3 can both be divided by 3, so I can take 3D, I can divide 3D out of both. Okay? So 21 divided by 3 is 7. CD, take away the D, all I have left is C, okay, minus 3D divided by 3D is 1, not 0. Do not say 0. It is not 0, it is 1. If it were 0, it wouldn't exist, okay, but it is there, so we have to multiply it by something. So 3D times 1 is 3D, so that's what's left, okay. Excuse me. Okay, let's try this one. 15a squared b minus 30ab. Well, I can divide both of these by 15, and then I'll show you another way to do this in class. I just thought about it. 15, I can divide both of them by 15. They both have 1a. This one has 2, but the most I can take out of both is 1, and they both have 1b. So that's what I can take out of both. That's what I can divide out of both. Okay? 15a squared b divided by 15ab. Well, the 15 is gone, the b is gone, 1a is gone, so that means I only have 1a left. I got sick again over spring break, so 15 or 30 divided by 15 is 2, And a divided by a is 1, b divided by b is 1, so I'm done. That's it. A minus 2 is all that's left. I made way too much space there. Okay. All right, let's try this one, number 11. AB minus A. This one's a little easier. What can I divide out of both? A. That's the only thing they have in common. So, AB divided by A is B minus A divided by A is 1. A times B minus 1. Okay, so let's try some more. Hopefully this is making a little bit more sense. So, 18a squared bc squared minus 48abc cubed. What can I divide out of both of these? It may not be immediately apparent, but I can divide 6 out of both of these. So if you can't see it right away, just make a factor tree for both of them and figure out what they have in common. Okay, so I can divide 6. They both have at least one A. This has 1, this has 2, so I can take out 1. They both have one B. And they both have at least 2 C's. This has C squared, this has C cubed, so I can take out C squared. I want to take out C squared because it's the greatest common factor. What's the most I can take out? What's the most I can divide both by? Okay, and that is it right there. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. A squared divided by A is 1A. B divided by B is 1. C squared divided by C squared is 1. So that's what's left there. 48 divided by 6 is 8. A divided by A is 1. B divided by B is 1. C cubed divided by C squared is just C. So that's what's left there. Okay. Let me get my other notes here. All right, number 15. What do these guys have in common? Anything? They don't have anything in common, so we cannot factor this, so we say it's prime. That was easy. Cannot factor that. Okay, here we go. Number 17. 6y to the 4th plus 14y cubed minus 10y squared. The only thing number-wise, 6, 14, and 10 that these have in common is that they're all evens. Okay, so I can only divide out a 2 because 6 is not going to 14, nor does it go into 10. So the only thing I can divide out of all three of these is 2. And y to the 4th, y cubed, and y squared, I can take out y squared from everything because this has 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so what's left? 6 divided by 2 is 3. Y to the 4th divided by y squared, well, 4 minus 2 is y squared, plus 14 divided by 2 is 7. Y cubed divided by y squared, well, 3 minus 2 is 1. Remember when you divide, you subtract exponents. Okay, minus 10 divided by 2 is 5. And y squared and y squared cancel out, so that's all that's left right there. Okay, like I said, hopefully it's starting to make a little bit more sense. You're literally just trying to find what they have in common and then divide it out. Okay, let's do number 19. We're almost done. There's only 3 more we have to do. 14gh squared plus 28gh plus 14h. First of all, what number can I take out of everything? I can divide out 14 by everything, so that's good. Let's look at the letters now. This has G, G, no G, so I can't take out a G. H squared, H, H. I can take out one H. I can divide by one H. So 14H is the greatest common factor between all 3. That's the goal. You want to find the greatest common factor of all 3. Not just 2, but everything. Okay? Well, 14 divided by 14 is 1. I have 1G still. H squared divided by H, well, 2 minus 1 is 1. Remember, you subtract exponents. Plus 28 divided by 14 is 2. I still have a g, but the h's are gone. H divided by h is 1, plus 14 divided by 14 is 1. H divided by h is 1, so this is 1. Okay, so that's what's left there. We only have 2 more, okay? Excuse me. So, m cubed n minus m squared n squared plus 5mn cubed. Well, the only number I can take out is 1. Okay. What can I take out letter-wise? They all have at least one m, so I can take out an m. And they all have at least one n, so let's do 1n. mn is my greatest common factor. So, let's divide. M cubed divided by m, 3 minus 1 is 2. The n's cancel out. I had 2 m's and 2 n's, and I divided by 1 on both, so I'm left with 1 of each. Plus, I still have my 5. Those cancel out. N cubed divided by n, 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, and there you go. And we have one more. Let's do one more before we do our recap. Okay, 35a squared minus 20ab squared plus 15a. Well, I can see that all of these numbers are divisible by 5. Okay, and they all have at least one a. And that's it. Because there's only one b. These two don't have a b. So 35 divided by 5 is 7. A squared divided by a is a. 20 divided by 5 is 4. A divided by a, those cancel out. B squared is still there. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And the a's cancel out, so that's all that's left. Okay, so before we go through these evens in class, let me read the recap here. This is really important. Okay, rules for finding a GCF of a polynomial. Number 1, look at coefficients first. These are the numbers, okay? Numbers, write this down, because coefficients, for some reason, people can't remember the definition of a coefficient. So coefficients are numbers. Look at the numbers first. Notice how I did that every single time, okay? A variable must be common to all terms to be GCF. Remember how I said up here, I couldn't take a g out because all 3 of them didn't have a g? If only 2 of them, and there's 3 terms, if only 2 of them have the same variable but not the third one, you cannot take it out. Okay? So that's this part right here. If a variable is common to all terms, take the one with the smallest exponent. Notice how this guy, I said, they all have an a in common, that's nice, but I didn't take out 2 even though this had 2. I took out the least amount from each one that I could, okay? This has a, this has a, this has a squared, so I can only take out 1 a from everything, okay? And then divide all terms by the GCF to get the remainder in parentheses. Remember when I said we're not subtracting, we're dividing. So this was our GCF, and this is what's left over when we divide all of these terms by this number. So this is basically your remainder, okay? So that's factoring by GCF. We're going to do the evens in class, and then we're going to do a foldable to help you remember this. Okay, good job.